Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're about to begin, and the session is being live streamed, so we need to start and stop on time. Thank you so much. Please take your seats. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Arab Coordination Group, the ACG, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's session. This afternoon is focused on a sustainable and equitable energy transition for all. ACG, or Arab Coordination Group, is a strategic alliance of 10 national and multilateral development finance institutions that provides a coordinated development finance response and maximizes positive impact for developing nations all around the world. I would like to extend a special thanks to our hosts from the UAE for letting us have this event in their pavilion. And I would like to welcome to the stage the Director General of the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development, His Excellency Mohammed Saif Al Suwaidi. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to the Arab Coordination Group at COP28 and the United Arab Emirates, especially as we approach the completion of 50 years of collective effort in supporting sustainable development. Our collective achievements have significantly contributed to shaping today's world. Together, we have made positive strides in financing advanced transportation, enhancing agriculture production, ensuring clean water and energy, and building more resilient communities. We're gathering after 8 years since the signing of the Paris Agreement, enriched by many lessons we have learned. This gathering served as a platform for the ACG to optimize resources, embracing new climate solutions, and rectifying past actions. It is a direct continuation of ACG commitment to climate action made during COP27, aiming to generate a new and corrective action that will leverage ACG's financial resources to address the climate challenges. Your Excellencies, we anticipate that COP28 will accelerate climate action across all development parties. Moreover, we believe that the motivation of individuals and professionals worldwide, particularly within the Arab Coordination Group, will ignite a new passion to fight the impact of climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, learning from our past success, reevaluating our traditional modes of cooperation, and promoting a comprehensive understanding of climate dynamics are crucial elements for ensuring the continued success of ACGs on the positively shaping the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. We will now have a very brief 90-second video showing us about the impact on the ground that the ACG has.
Global challenges, evolving economic realities, and population growth are placing increased demand on nations worldwide. For almost 50 years, the Arab Coordination Group, ACG, has united in support of a brighter, more equitable future for developing nations and their people. We are a strategic alliance of 10 national and regional institutions with a shared vision of helping uplift nations through global collaboration, project financing, and technical assistance. As one of the largest donor groups by combined financial resources, we focus on delivering sustainable impact to improve the prospects of communities worldwide. From innovative infrastructure financing to funding youth and women's empowerment programs, we are invested in creating long-term outcomes that support inclusive, social, and economic development. We are proud of what we have achieved over our 50 years, and we are committed to continued collaboration to support an equitable future. Together, we achieve greater impact. Together, we are ACG.
Thank you. I would just like to take a moment to remind our audience that at last November's COP27, members of the Arab Coordination Group came together to pledge $24 billion for climate action to address global climate crisis by 2030. That landmark commitment is currently being rolled out, particularly in UN-designated least developed countries and small island developing states around the world. In this session, our distinguished panelists who are leading the development agencies aligned under the ACG will share their approach to climate action and the energy transition. So it's my honor to now invite to the stage, please, from the OPEC Fund for International Development, our Director General, Dr. Abdul Hamid Al Khalifa. From the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, Badea, President Sidi Would Ta. And from the Arab Fund for Economic and Social Development, Director General Badr Al-Saad. So I'd like to start. Hello? Thank you. Director General Al Khalifa, I'd like to start with you, please. How can the OPEC Fund, together with members of the ACG, facilitate a just and sustainable energy transition in partner countries in line with the broader climate agenda? What are we focusing on?
Thank you, Nadia, and thanks for the organizer of this event to invite OPEC Fund to this panel. Let me start by giving a brief information about ACG, and it is, as the video described, it is a 50 years old coalition that has a huge impact when it comes to global development. It is a very important group. I personally was in the World Bank group board, and always when there is a discussion on projects, policies, and future strategies, they refer to ACG as a very important player on the development business. Coming back to your question about transition. Energy transition is very important, but also I thank you for mentioning just, because just is very important angle of this equation. We should, or the world should not move without anyone left behind. This is very important element. ACG is in my view, helping on this transition is well positioned to do that for many reasons. But I'll be brief here. First one is exposure. As you know, most of the ACG institutions coming from this region. And this region have been impacted highly by climate change. And there is a need to move forward and to mitigate the risk that is coming from the climate change. Second is the expertise. As I said, this group has 50 years of expertise working together on development issues, and this kind of expertise that is accumulated over the years now, it's been used to deal with a very important issue like what we are discussing today, the climate and energy transition. This is very important. Third is the finance. As you know, MDBs are a very important financial or finance houses when it comes to mobilizing resources. Now there is, as you know, the business model for MDBs is to generate or mobilize resources from commercial, from government, from different sources, and channel it with a very good concessional terms to developing countries and low-income countries. And no institutions can do that except MDBs. Financial or commercial financial institutions, they can give or they can lend on commercial terms. Government support is not sustainable. So the only sustainable model is the MDB's sustainable model. And the fourth reason that I think ACG is well positioned to support or to work together to support this just energy transition is innovation. And here is there is two parallel angles to innovation when we are talking about innovation, especially when it is related to MDBs and climate. The first one is technology. As we know, technology is there, and but how to use it to help on making sure that this is going to be a just transition or energy transition. And I would like to mention a fact, which is that two of the most important technology leaders in the energy transition that we are talking about is from this area. And I'm talking here about Aqua Power and Master. Those two companies, they are the leaders on the energy transition. When you go to Africa, Asia, Central Asia, Europe even, the leading institutions in putting together solutions that helps on the transition. What I mean here is low CO2 solutions is those two players. The second angle of innovation is finance. And that is where the financial institutions are important, like what our institutions here. We can put together a comprehensive financial solutions to these kind of problems, just to make sure that what is going to be implemented in the future is going to be sustainable but also on the debt burden for the recipient countries, it will be on that level. I didn't talk about OPEC fund yet, but I was talking about the ACG. But I'll give maybe my colleagues here the opportunity to also talk, and I come back to OPEC fund later, Nadia.
Wonderful. Thank you for giving us such a broad and incisive overview. So I would like to turn to Badia now, if I may, Mr. Sidi Wulta. Maybe we can dive into some specifics, because I know that energy security is a critical issue, particularly in vulnerable countries. And sometimes renewable energy sources can be intermittent, or they require particularly dedicated energy storage solutions. So what is the ACG or Badia doing to ensure energy security? What measures are you taking?
No, thank you very much. I do believe this is a very important issue of access and the issue of energy security. Because if we look at Africa, and as you know, the mandate of Badia is focusing on sub-Saharan Africa, the main issue there is access. So some countries have only 9% access to electricity. So the priority of the government is to have access to electricity, whatever the source of energy is. The issue also of energy security is key, because without energy security, this country cannot develop themselves. So this makes the importance of just energy transition. That a transition which will take into consideration the reality of the beneficiary countries and the need for them to gradually move from a type of energy to another. And as you mentioned, technically speaking, there are many challenges with renewable energies. So whatever the will to move to renewable energy, that will be technically difficult for some countries, given their network, given the scarcity of financial resources, but also the lack of grid and the level of access, which is very low. So most of African countries, on average in Africa, 50% of the population, they don't have access to electricity. And in some countries, the level of access to electricity is only at 9%. So you see the need for electricity, whatever source is used. And sometimes you cannot develop renewable energy at scale if you don't have a pre-existing thermal system, which is at quite important level. And the stability of the renewable energy is always a big issue for African countries. So in a nutshell, so one can say that Africa needs to go through a very just and gradual transition, but the priority of Africa is access and energy security. So, and I do believe that the Arab Coordination Group is doing very well in supporting African countries in this transition, and also in supporting African countries to have access to electricity, to have security, energy security. And Badia can only show the fact that over the past 50 years, the Badia was not able to do any project in Africa without the Arab Coordination Group. Because on average, for each dollar from Badia's own resources, there were $4 from Arab Coordination Group to support these projects. So that's a very beautiful example of a partnership.
That's impressive. Thank you. Mr. Al-Saad, if I might turn to you for the Arab Fund. Why now? Why is it important at this particular juncture, this joint commitment, these huge financial resources for climate challenge? Why does this matter to member countries of your Arab Fund?
Well, thank you, Nadia, and I want to thank Abu Dhabi Development Fund for hosting this session. Thank you, Brother Mohammed, for that. Let me emphasize that the climate change risk probably is the highest risk that our current generation and the future generation will face. It touches our life, it touches our future, it touches everything in our life. So the climate change is a risk that the ACG institution had realized that they should face and they should challenge. The Arab Peninsula is probably the driest region on earth. 9 of the Arab countries out of 17, 9 of the 17, the driest countries in the world, 9 are from the Arab world. So this is actually the risk that the ACG realized, and they want to face these challenges. So a lot of resources has been driven to the climate change and how to face this issue. We have a water problem in our region. I think we lag. We have a huge financing gap that we should face, despite all the flow that came to the region for the water and for the climate change. Still, there is a huge gap that we should fill. I think we have to change our business model. We have to introduce, I would say, more financing models in order to face the needs and to face the challenges for the climate change. So I think, despite what we did, we should do more at the ACG group. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, the time is definitely now. I'm just conscious of the time, but we're in good order. So let me go back to Dr. Al-Khalifa. You mentioned that you had not had a chance to speak about the OPEC Fund's operation. So what specifically is the OPEC Fund doing? Describe for us some of the initiatives and projects that are making a difference for climate and the energy transition, please.
Thank you. At OPEC Fund, our work governed by our climate action plan. That is our work related to climate, I mean. This plan was launched more than 1 year ago, and it is requesting the institution to direct 40% of its investments by 2030 to climate-related projects. Now, currently, we are about 33%. In the past 5 years, it used to be 25% of our investments were directed to climate-related investments. So we are progressing on that direction. In the past, we had the pleasure to work with some MDBs and bilaterals and mostly ACG, but also the two leaders in the industry, on the energy transition industry, namely Masdar and Aquapower, to do several projects in different parts of the world. As you know, our mandate is global, and we work in all countries around the world, except our member countries. So we have the pleasure to work. Maybe one of the first projects were in Jordan, and it was solar and wind. So it was a very successful project that was a long time ago. But also, when it comes to large-scale projects, we had the chance to work with MDBs and other investors on a major project in Egypt, which is Komombo, with 200 megawatt coming from solar only. And we had also the pleasure to work with other MDBs in other parts of the world. In Uzbekistan, we have work with other partners in putting together a wind plant and a solar plant. It's two different plants, but all of these just give you how the transition is also taking place when it comes to our portfolio. In addition to that, we also have the pleasure to work on the advisory level. It's not only at the project level. At the advisory level, we are working in Panama with the World Bank, and in Azerbaijan with the ISDB on the advisory level that is related to climate and climate change. Going forward, we have lots to do. We just signed the establishment agreement for climate finance and energy innovation hub with UNIDO and SE for All in our pavilion maybe 1 hour ago. And this is just to put all what we are speaking about into motion. And we are working with those entities, but also with others. And we have a pilot project for clean cooking, just on the application of what is coming from this hub. We are doing a clean cooking project in Madagascar. And that project is going to have a huge impact. You know, it is maybe when you say clean cooking, it is a small scale problem, but it has a huge implication. As you know, there is 2.3 billion people around the world are suffering from this. And the suffer is coming from not only health, which is a very huge cost for those people, but also an impact, very negative impact on the environment, on climate, and also on women. And we are working with our partners, and Badia is also joining us on that, in putting together a comprehensive solution to these kind of problems. So this hub is going to provide an end-to-end solutions on finance and policy. So, and the first application, as I said, is this clean cooking, but it will not be the end of that.
Thank you so much. So you've mentioned the importance of innovation. I'd like to direct that question perhaps to Dr. Wulta. So what can you tell us about some of the new technologies that are out there, that are needed, and how big a role innovation has to play in supporting climate action and the coming energy transition?
So definitely innovation is at the heart of the transformation process. And we in Badia, we have been lucky to work with many of our sister institutions here. And we have a project with Abu Dhabi Fund in Mali, with the Abu Dhabi Fund and IRENA, which is very innovative in terms of introducing solar energy in 36 villages in Mali. And also we are working with AG Fund on a very transformative program in Sierra Leone, which has developed a digital platform to enable families to benefit from microfinance, but also to get involved in the clean cooking through providing gas cylinders and using telecommunication loyalties point to refill the gas cylinders. So we are also working with UNHCR in Zambia to develop also solar solution for refugees. And in Niger with the FAO to develop water pumping for pastoralism in the remote areas in Niger, particularly for camel breeders. So there are plenty of we are working also in Côte d'Ivoire on a new digital platform to allow micro and small medium enterprises to benefit from solar energy, but also to get financing with the decision making in less than 15 minutes, based on artificial intelligence. So there are a lot of opportunities today, and I do believe that Arab Coordination Group is doing very well in this area, and the cooperation between different institutions is really helping countries to move in that direction.
Thank you very much. Mr. Al-Saad, if I might come back to you, what can you tell us about the future initiatives for the Arab Fund? What do you have in the pipeline? What's next?
Let me talk in 2 minutes about what we have been doing right now for the green projects. Actually, we reduce the cost of the financing. It's 30 years with 4-year grace period. The grant element and the green project, it's increased from 27% to 32%. So there is a 5% increase in the grant element, which is really very generous. Going forward, I think we have a new strategy. We are changing our playbook. This will enhance and increase the impact of our financing. But importantly, everybody's talking about the solar. The problem with the solar is not 24/7. The solar is only a daytime. So it's not. So what we are trying to do is to find something really sustainable, and it's 24/24. It's unlike the solar. So that's why we are trying to find a new, I would say, innovative to finance and to find technology that it could work at a cheap cost for energy production, which works sustainable 24/24 and cheap also for the regional. Also, what we are trying to do is to do some domestic currencies, local currencies financing. Also, we will do some guarantees to increase financing check. So we are completely changing our playbook and our new strategy.
Thank you so much. So thank you all three gentlemen. Those are some exciting initiatives underway. But perhaps before we conclude, since this COP28 is a COP of action, I will turn to you again, Mr. Al-Saad, because I believe on behalf of the Arab Coordination Group, you have a new announcement to make about a new commitment from the ACG in time for COP28.
I'll go to them. We, the head of the Arab Coordination Group institution, meeting on December 4th, 2023, in Dubai on the sideline of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP28, recognize the urgent need for a sustainable and equitable energy transition. We hereby declare our unwavering commitment to supporting and catalyzing the global transition to clean and renewable energy sources. The ACG will actively pursue innovative financing mechanisms, including green bonds and sukuk, blended finance and risk mitigation instrument to facilitate investment in clean energy through allocating $10 billion drawn primarily from the US $24 billion pledged and made in COP27 towards energy transition. Toward energy transition in partner countries by 2030. We acknowledge the importance of innovation in driving the energy transition, and we will support research and development efforts, technological advancement, and capacity building initiatives. We commit to prioritizing projects that increase energy access for underserved communities, particularly in developing regions, while ensuring that these initiatives are environmentally sustainable and socially inclusive, as well as integrating climate resilience considerations into our projects to ensure that the assets and infrastructure are protected for climate adversity. We will establish robust monitoring and evaluation mechanism to assess the effectiveness and impact of our investment in energy transition projects. We will use this data to refine our strategies and continuously improve our outcomes. We pledge to uphold these principles and take affirmative action to advance the global energy transition, recognizing that the transition is a collective responsibility that requires the commitment and collaboration of all stakeholders. We call upon the international community to join us in this endeavor, and we work together to build a more sustainable and prosperous future for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Again, thank you, gentlemen, and all members of the Arab Coordination Group for this impressive $10 billion pledge for sustainable, equitable, and just energy transition. Thank you so much.